Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel. I'm Rofi Yasin and you guys are learning ASP.NET Core MVC and we're creating complete e-commerce web application. In previous two videos, basically we have created two separate projects for business layer and our model layer. And in this video, basically we are not going to do anything. We're just going to understand what we did in previous two videos and what is the basically you can say what is the structure or architecture of our application and how these projects are interrelated with each other. So let's get started understanding project structure, and we're developing step-by-step e-commerce web application using .NET Core MVC. So basically, I have created this slide for you so that you can understand what is the basic structure of our application. So you can see over here is a pound saving store .web layer, and over here we have pound saving store .business layer, and over here we have pound saving store .core layer. So we have these three layers. Okay, I have missed some files like startup and things. Basically, I just want to give you an idea how our projects are interrelated with each other. So let's start with core project. In core project, we will have our interfaces and models. And obviously, you are now you understand what we mean by interfaces. If you are not familiar with interfaces, we'll discuss interfaces later on in this series. But you are familiar with this model folder. Basically, this models folder contain our uh, domain models or entities. We will be using entity framework, and these models represents our tables in the database. So in the core project, we only have these interfaces and models are entities within our database. So on these entities or models on the we are going to perform operations like saving these entities in the database, retrieving entities, retrieving records, deleting, uh, searching, sorting, filtering on the basis of these models. So all this logic, like we will create a interface like we have a category model, and we will create a I category repository interface here, and we will implement this logic within our business layer. So basically, we have decoupled our project to separate projects, and on these on the basis of these interfaces, we will write implementation of these interfaces. If you see interfaces links to repositories, so we have I category repository interface, and the implementation of that I category repository interface will be in repositories, and we will have category repository inside this repository folder, and it will inherit from this repository. So when it comes to inheritance, or we are inheriting this repository from this interface, obviously we'll have to create some relationship or reference this project within this project. And we have these models. So let's say we want to save data into the database, so we need a model, like we have a context dot categories, context dot product dot context dot whatever models we have inside our model project. So these models are also related, are required within this business layer. So that's why this core project is related to is referenced to business layer. So we haven't yet created any reference or added any reference. We will add in the next video, but this is very important video to understand the project structure. So now you can understand we need interfaces and models within this project business layer so that we can implement those interfaces and we can perform operations on these models within this business layer. Okay, and we'll have to create these models within the database, and we need these models within this context class so that we can create DB set properties of these models in our business project. Okay, so that's why we need a reference of this core project within this business project. And when it comes to our web project, we have controllers. When the end user will call, let's say, save category, this controller will call to this business project, because we have written uh, a business logic or data related logic, database related logic within this business project, and this web project is linked to this business project. We will End user will request to the web project will request to the business layer, and business layer is already linked with the core layer. So this makes sense because we need in the web layer we need business layer in order to perform operations. So this makes sense. So web is related to business and business is depending on the core project. And the question is that why we are uh, linking this core project with our web project. So in order to create views, so let's say we want to create a view of category. So how we can bind our view with the category if we don't have a category within this? So that's why our models are related to uh, our web project, and we will be using dependency injection. So these repositories will be like registered within the services container of our web application, and we will use these interfaces within controllers to call the uh, repositories layer. So that's how uh, that's how our web layer is linked both with the business layer and with the core layer. So web layer, the reference of core layer should be within the web layer and should be within the business layer, and the reference of business layer should be within the web layer. So our core project doesn't need any reference of web or any reference of business, because this is a core project. This only contain interfaces and or entities, but our business layer needs the reference of core project, and it doesn't need the reference of web project. But our web project is dependent on the both core layer and business layer, so that's why this web project needs both references of business layer and references of core layer. So I think this was like a quick review of what we did in we haven't yet added any reference of any project, but before adding that references, I want to show you what is the basic purpose of creating these separate projects and how these separate three projects are interrelated with each other. So this was like a quick presentation of our projects and our layer architecture. So we have web layer, we have business layer, and we have core layer, and how these layers are interrelated, and how we need a reference of this project in this and this project in this, and what is the purpose of this. So I think that's it for this video. In the next video, we will be interlinking all these projects, because now we are we have understand everything. This core project, the reference of core project is required within business project and within web project. So we will reference this core project in business and in web project in the next video, and the reference of this business project needs within this web project. So we will reference this business project within this web project, obviously within the in the next video. So I hope so you are understanding my idea. If you are not understanding, just bear with me, and you will understand everything when we have something functional, and we have a table and we're performing CRUD operations. So in order to perform that, you will have to bear with me, and you'll have to concentrate and do what I'm doing after 5, 6 or 10 videos. When we have everything ready to use, perform CRUD operations, then you will understand everything in a better way. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.